Now, to that interview that I just promised you a while ago, over 3,000 engineers will be flocking to the coastal city on the 14th all the way to the 17th for this year's 30th edition of the Engineers Institution of Kenya International Convention. And of course, here with me in studio this afternoon is Engineer Nathaniel Matalanga, the council member and the former president of the Institution of Engineers of Kenya, of course, a renowned figure here in our studios. So, Engineer, the first question is, what should the viewers look for in that particular convention center that will be held in Mombasa?
Thank you very much, Abdi, for that question. But before I answer your question, I'll just remind the rest of Kenyans that, and also join on behalf of the engineers in Kenya to welcome King Charles to the country for the visit, and remind all of us that the Institution of Engineers of Kenya is also a member of the Commonwealth Engineers Council, which is one of the organizations whose patron is King Charles. So back to your question, every year the Institution of Engineers of Kenya organizes a convention where we get our members to come together to share the international best practices, and we also have the international visitors coming to educate us. And this year we are actually a privilege that alongside the 30th IEK International Convention, we are also hosting the General Assembly of the World Council of Civil Engineers. So we have the world, all the participants in engineering in Kenya. They will be in Mombasa from the 14th to 17th. So we expect at the end of the day, Kenya will come out quite enriched, because you will be associating, you'll get a lifetime experience to associate with the best brains in the world in the field of engineering. We get our members, those who can physically, to be in Mombasa. We urge all of them to join us, because this is a chance that you should not miss. It's a lifetime chance to have all these world leaders in our country, and we are privileged as Kenya that we got this chance. It's the first that it's having to host the World Engineers, the World Council of Civil Engineers in Kenya. So we are privileged. The country, actually, the Institution of Engineers bid among others for this, and we are very privileged that we have come. Of course, there will be some attendance benefits, of course, tourism and everything. But as engineers, we shall have a lifetime chance to experience and ask questions, because these people will be presenting us papers. We have a whole schedule of activities from paper, panel discussions, we shall also get all the let's say the chief executive officers of engineering organizations in Kenya, from parastatals to private sector, to have panel discussions with us, so that we get to discuss what is ailing the country and how we can improve it. What can we do differently moving forward?
Also looking at it, Mr. Nathaniel, technology plays a bigger role in the engineering profession. How are you going to leverage it in the backdrop of this particular IEK 30th edition convention?
You know, you cannot learn about technology. It's a bit hard. You just have to experience it. The best is
how do you adapt to it?
How do you adapt to it? How do you find how to leverage? The unfortunate incident that just happened at a petrol station that you've just reported about, unfortunately, and my condolences to the person who died, should not have happened if that petrol station was taking advantage of technology. You are not supposed to do some work in an exposed bare environment. So you're supposed to have processes, put safety processes in place. And here we can take advantage of technology. The better bottom-up approach of our current government has the core of the bottom-up approach. If we want to actualize it, is for us to embrace technology. And engineering is about technological issues. How do we take advantage of technology to do the way we do things differently, to do things in an easier way, in a simpler way, and in a cost-effective way? You realize previously we used to have a lot of people working on a construction site, people with access and jembes digging. But now you can get an excavator to come and excavate for you a trench. And then you will go to a batching plant, get concrete mixed there, It comes on a truck and then you pour it quickly. So we need, as a country, to leverage our technologies. And the best countries that have really leveraged our technology are the developed world. So that's why, as a country, we take advantage of this session to bring them here. And maybe if they see the way we are doing things, they'll be able to advise us, tell us how to do it. And we hope with time, some of us will have the advantage of traveling to see how, in a fact-finding mission in these countries, so that they can come and help the country move forward. But we need it because our economy is a lot on agricultural. And if we continue practicing agriculture the traditional way, there's no way we are going to have the critical food to feed our people. So we need to embrace technology. We should not be worried. Like, the tea pickers in Kericho say, oh, you don't want to have the tea picking machines. Not knowing that if you pick tea with your hands, and now you are upgraded to be the driver of that machine, you're going to have an easier life and even a better salary. So we should all embrace technology. It is here to improve our lives and help us do things in a cost-effective way.
As they say, change is inevitable indeed.
Definitely.
But the other issue is IEK. Is it working closely, especially given that you have a vast wealth of experience in the engineering sector? Are you working with institutions to refine some of the curriculum within those institutions to meet the current demands of the job market for engineers?
In fact, that is one of the core activities. The engineering in Kenya is regulated, and the regulator of engineering in Kenya is, we have two. For engineers is the Engineers Board of Kenya, and for technicians and technologists is the Board of Technicians and Technologists. So what we are doing now to try to advance is to help universities make their programs, to adopt their programs to the needs of the country, and then help them make sure that our graduates and the practice of engineering in this country is up to the world's standard. The board is in the process of trying to assure the world that what is happening in this country is up to speed. It's up to international standards. And the way the board is trying to do this is to apply to join what is called the International Engineering Alliance. For engineers, it is the Washington Accord. So if the Engineers Board of Kenya gets to sign the Washington Accord, they will be assuring the world that, look, what we are doing in Kenya is the best practice for us as a country and also for the rest of the world. And then the Board of Technicians and Technologists will also sign the Dublin and the Sydney Accord, so that they can also assure the rest of the world. With that, what will be happening is that we would hopefully lobby government to accept that we need budget for our universities to carry out research and development, so that what our industry needs is what is being taught in these universities. Going to university to do engineering, as much as we might want to call it an academic exercise, but it's not quite, because it's supposed to equip you with a skill. That when you come out of university, you're supposed to help the country move forward. And that skill should also be able to put food on the table. So it's not really an academic exercise in engineering. It's a physical activity. And you know that when you ask me, an engineer, you want to say, what do I do? And that's why I'm able to identify with that accident that we report. That's an engineering activity. Mechanical automotive engineers are supposed to put systems in place to ensure that workers are working on a safe environment. And we should not take chances that are costing us lives. You've seen instances where, unfortunately, buildings collapse. But if the building has an engineer, the engineer is supposed to ensure that that construction is done in a safe way, so that lives are not lost. And therefore, we should leverage on technology, take advantage of how we can use our resources in the best way possible, without wasting them, without losing life, and without also carrying out bad investments that are not value for the money that we are putting in this.
Okay, given that, engineer, we're running out of time. The reason why I asked you that particular question is that we have 25,000 graduates every year from that particular sector, and only 2,500 are employed. Where do these other students go as you wind up?
And unfortunately, when a student graduates from engineering, we've had challenges that they don't get a ready job
in engineering. The main employer of engineers in this country is government. When I was at university, all engineers used to get employed by government. But I think there was some advisory from the World Bank that froze employment. So we've suffered a great deal that students graduating from engineering programs don't get ready work. And without getting work where you get professional experience, it will not be, you have to put food on the table, and therefore many of these end up looking for other ways of survival. So if the government was to put systems in place so that all work infrastructure projects that are going on, they have local content. The law is there, it's supposed to be 40% local content. But unfortunately, because of the issues surrounding procurement, the issues surrounding financing, some of these don't end up accommodating the local content. And therefore, our young people are not able to secure employment. And without securing employment, of course, you cannot remain in engineering. You end up doing things that will be able to assist you. So we urge all the players, all the parastatals, when they are procuring, especially infrastructure projects, let them put in place, set aside a percentage of that project to be for internship programs, for jobs for engineers in this country. And we need them, because if we don't create the critical mass for development by locals, we cannot depend on foreigners for developing our country. And the time is now, because the government is aware, the president is listening to us, and he's saying, tell me how to do it. So we are ready to give a lead, to take a lead in this, and lead the government in all, even this housing project. If we do it well, it will be a big employer of these young people. Yes, the construction of road projects, the construction of dams that they're talking about, water supply projects, those are big projects, but we need the local people to be involved.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
That is Engineer Nathaniel Matalanga, the council member and former president of the Institution of Engineers of Kenya. Thank you for making time for KBC Channel 1 this lovely afternoon. And of course, the message by Nathaniel is that you don't have to wait to be employed. Of course, innovation, innovate. That is the only way you can be able to make a living in this particular lifetime.